contributor and former senior advisor for the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, Kurt Bardella. Kurt, what should Americans be cluing into here when it comes to these IGs that the president is focused on and the oversight of the money?
Well, understand, Mika, that the inspector generals are really the watchdogs of taxpayer dollars in this country. And when you start to remove those barriers of oversight away and strip those away, really what you're doing is you're turning this $2 trillion that's supposed to go to help people in this time of need, you're turning that into a personal slush fund for Donald Trump. The only reason why you strip away oversight is because you want to do things with that money that you know the American people would not find palatable, that they would not find okay, that violate the spirit of why campaign. Maybe the people that personally benefit his businesses. We know from this president, he has no hesitation about mixing his money, his personal, his professional mixings, his businesses with his office. So using that position to exert undue influence over this process is not beneath this president, Mika.
So, I mean, not going too ahead of our skis here, but what are the areas of concern when it comes to that fund not being given oversight?
I think there are two concerns. First, sending the message that if you do your job, if you're an inspector general and you follow the law, your job is on the line. You could get fired for that, because that's what happened to Atkinson. I think the second concern is if you take away this oversight and nobody is actually paying attention to how this money is being administered, it makes it a feeding ground for waste, fraud, abuse, mismanagement, and corruption. That's what Republicans, by the way, believed all throughout the Obama administration. When I worked at the Oversight Committee, people like Darrell Issa, every day they would sound off about how they need to protect inspector generals, how they were important, how they can't have to look over their shoulder if they're expected to do their job. Where are those Republicans now when this is happening? Because this is the type of thing that if it had happened during the Obama years, the Republicans would be having hearings, they'd be launching investigations, they'd be getting testimony. They would not stand for this, and we shouldn't either right now.
Okay, Kurt, it's Willie. So you can see why the president wanted to get rid of Michael Atkinson, the intelligence community IG, because his processing of that whistleblower complaint, doing his job, led to the impeachment of President Trump. I haven't heard yet why he's intent on getting rid of Glenn Fine, who was going to oversee this $2.2 trillion bill that went through that became law last month. What's the problem with Glenn Fine, someone who served in the Department of Defense and who has served under both Republican and Democratic administrations?
And this is the thing that makes it so obvious, Willie, what Trump is trying to do here. It's not that he has a personal issue, I think, with Glenn Fine. It's that he doesn't want Glenn Fine to do the job. Glenn Fine is someone who has drawn respect from both sides of the aisle, who even Trump's own Secretary of Defense spoke out and said that Fine was someone that he respected and would do a good job. The only reason why you take someone like that away is because you don't want someone who's independent, who's going to follow the law, who's going to be ethical, who's not going to succumb to Trump's whims. The only reason why you take someone like that away is because you want to put somebody else in that job who will do what you want. One of the things that Trump also did on Friday after getting rid of Atkinson, he put in place a new inspector general to oversee the Treasury Department that it was his own White House counsel during impeachment. He put one of his own cronies in there to help oversee this thing. So that just tells you exactly what he's thinking right now, which is I think he wants to use this money to dole out favors to friends, to supporters, to donors, and to enrich his own personal finances.
Kurt, Mike Barnacle's here. He's got a question for you, Mike.
Yeah, so Kurt, given the guidelines issued by the Treasury, literally written quite quickly, and I'm told very loosely, do you think it's possible that without a truly independent inspector general overseeing the money given out to small businesses, do you think it's possible that a smaller private equity company under 500 employees, a very exclusive private school, in Fairfield County, Connecticut, or wherever else in the country could apply for the same money really ostensibly meant for hair salons, for small grocery stores, for small shoe stores, small businesses that we all know and want to keep going? Do you think it's possible that that could be subverted?
No, it's not just possible, Mike. It's almost a certainty that it will be. I mean, that's the only reason why this is happening right now. This is effectively a bank heist in broad daylight of the American people's money by Donald Trump. He's getting rid of all the watchdogs. He's getting rid of all the oversight. He's doing everything he can to make sure that there is no transparency with how he decides to dole out this money. And make no mistake about it, the people who he ends up putting in place to quote unquote do oversight are going to be friends of Trump. They're going to be people that are only loyal to him. We're seeing this great purge government-wide right now. And let's just be clear. This is just the beginning. He's just getting started. It says a lot that in the middle of a national pandemic, something we've never seen before, that he's taking time to extract revenge against his perceived political enemies, that he's cleaning out oversight, that he's getting rid of the watchdogs. This is just the start of what's going to be, I think, a government-wide purge of anybody that he thinks he can't trust to look the other way while he doles out taxpayer money to whoever he wants.
All right. Kurt Bardella, thank you very, very much. I'm just looking here, the president